It is the Riot Podcast.
Welcome on the day of our Riot Show anniversary. So if you're listening to this and you're still in the Thursday window, we're hosting a special show tonight on our Facebook page at RadioU Riot, which you should be following, and RadioU if you follow our station page too.
Yeah, so here's what's going down. Tonight, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, the Riot thing is happening. If you miss it, you can catch the archives on Facebook or YouTube. Today in the podcast... Oh, man. I don't even remember what we talk about.
A lot of good stuff, though.
A lot of stuff. So you guys get in. Nikki and I have been hyper-focused on tonight. So the other thing that you can do, by the way, is Nikki and I went out and did some shopping yesterday.
For our party preparation.
So you can go ahead and take a look at that. That's also on Facebook. And... a lovely time was had by all.
Actually, we had a really good time.
We really did.
We always have the best times with it. So we talk about our anniversary, obviously, in this podcast a lot. Even if you can't join us or if you are listening to this after our anniversary show happened, text us anytime you want to, 877-2-RADIO-U, and tell us who you are, how many years have you been listening to this podcast, and, just say hello.
All right. Well, hey, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll be talking at you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
So I kept seeing this pop up in the news this week, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought it had to do with Captain Marvel, because in Captain Marvel... she, I think, lands or breaks into or whatever a blockbuster video, because the Captain Marvel movie takes place during the 90s. So it's a period piece.
No, I think they're down to just one left.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
There were two blockbusters that were left.
I thought there was a couple in Alaska, but maybe I was wrong. They closed?
There was one in Alaska that was famous because I think it was like Conan or somebody sent them stuff, and they had a couple of different... like, what do you call it? Like almost Planet Hollywood, like museum pieces. Like this was the handkerchief that was worn and the whatever. Like it had become a thing.
That one was also famous too because, in that area, internet infrastructure was still not as advanced as, say, if you're not in Alaska. But it's had great strides. But people there were still using DVD and Blu-ray discs. So they still needed to have one. But then they closed that one down too.
So there were two left, one in Perth, Australia, and one in Bend, Oregon. And the Perth, Australia blockbuster closed on Monday.
So it's Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon is the last blockbuster in the world.
So who owns it? Is it just like the franchise owner won't close it?
Yeah.
But then Blockbuster as a corporate level is all gone?
They're gone. This is just somebody that, bought a franchise and owns it. And so they can keep using the name, and that's it.
But they still just keep renting.
Don't you really want to go there?
It'd be so weird.
Don't you want to go?
That's so very weird.
I really want to go.
I don't know. What if you go in and they shut the door and you never get out?
They're like, you're with us. One of us. One of us until the end.
And we're there, and you just have to watch movie after movie, which at first sounds amazing, but then it's not.
But it's
because you can never leave.
They're always really old movies that they force the staff to watch while they're in there.
Has that Blockbuster made a statement like, we're here for good, we're still busy, or what?
The owner of the Bend, Oregon Blockbuster is named Sandy Harding, and she says, we're proud to still be open.
Okay, so no plans to close?
No plans to close. I'm looking at photos of it now. Look at that. Wow, if you want to buy previously viewed DVDs.
Is that the place to go?
Hey, there they are, 5 for $20. It's nice. And they got a lot. For example, do you want the movie Gold or Bad Santa 2?
You can get it there.
They have hundreds of copies. So let's see. Oh, boy, prices are actually down compared to the last time I went to a Blockbuster. You get a new release DVD or Blu-ray for 1 week for $3.99.
That's the rental fee?
Also, that's fantastic. They have T-shirts that they sell. Last Blockbuster in America.
That'd be worth going to get.
It would be.
Just to have the shirt.
If I went to that Blockbuster, I would totally buy that shirt. They say it's becoming a very popular Instagram location.
Oh, yeah, just to go and check in there.
Yeah, like, hey, I was at the last Blockbuster. They're like, hey, please buy something while you're here.
No, didn't say that. Just wanted to take a picture.
Get some snow caps.
They're going to start charging you for the pictures.
Probably.
Some have said that if you just keep listening to The Riot, you'll learn to love them. Has that really worked for anybody yet? Has anyone tested that? It's The Riot on RadioU.
So, Nikki, did you take any time yesterday and watch the Brightburn trailer that was released?
Brightburn. I don't think I did.
You should watch that.
Okay.
That looks... I really want to see it.
Is it a show? Is it a movie?
Brightburn is a movie that comes out, I believe, in May. And so what everyone is saying is that it's the Superman horror film.
Really?
And so the idea is, and it is interesting, if you watch the opening, 60 seconds of the trailer, it's all about a couple that lives in this farmhouse, and then there's this big meteor-looking thing that lands on their property, and they drive out to see what it is. And
so like Superman?
There's a baby in there, and they're going to raise the baby as their own. That is Superman's origin story, right?
Yeah, but is it officially?
No,
are they?
No,
okay,
no,
so it's not like it's tied in at all?
No, not at all. So you start to see that this kid, he's a little different. He's getting bullied at school. And then when he starts to discover that he has superpowers, instead of, realizing they're a burden that he must use to serve humanity, he just starts...
Goes the other way?
Torturing the people that have been torturing him.
Oh, so this is a different take on that, is it?
Very different.
How scary does he get?
Well, I mean...
Oh, yeah, I see. I'm watching the trailer.
How scary would it be if Superman decided he wanted to toy with you and then kill you?
That would be very scary.
Right?
Gosh.
Okay. So it...
But it's not a Superman movie.
No,
it just feels a lot like one.
It feels a lot like, down to the point that the kid fashions for himself a red cape.
Really?
Yeah. And at some point, a mask. I don't know what the mask thing is about, but you know what?
Is this based on a comic, though, at least? Or is this does it look like an original story? Or?
I believe it to be an original story. I guess there have been other comics that have told similar stories, but this is original. And the other thing that everyone's, chit-chattering about is the fact that it's produced by James Gunn. And remember, he's the Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Yes.
Who is no longer the Guardians of the Galaxy guy. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I just saw the part with the glass.
Oh, yeah. That's a little much.
That's something. Maybe I need sound to kind of buffer that a little bit.
Yeah, that's
a bit much.
That's a bit much. But you know what? I'm sold.
You are?
I'm sold. Yeah, it looks like a fascinating idea. More than anything, I just want to know how it resolves.
Kind of reminds me, I don't know why, of like a M. Night Shyamalan sort of style to it.
I get that.
With like the Stranger Things stuff, but in Superman stuff, kind of all just thrown in together. And what was that one with the John Goodman guy with the bunker?
18 Cloverfield Lane?
Like all of that stuff kind of mushed together.
Hey, is it 18 Cloverfield Lane? That's something.
It just has that look to it.
That's another one of those things where it's like that is a scary movie that's not like scary.
It's intense.
It's very intense.
So it's called
what they call
Brightburn.
It a thriller.
Yes,
it's a thriller.
That's totally what this looks like. So Brightburn looks like it's trending.
Mm-hmm. I watched the trailer, and just be aware there's an eyeball part that's freaky.
That's the one I was talking about. It looks like, is it Memorial Day?
Yeah, I think that's it. So you know what? I'm in. I'm up for that.
Nice to have a new movie that's not, I was going to say a Marvel movie or like all the other studio movies.
Nikki, don't.
No, it's nice to have something that feels like it's coming from a different place.
You're just jealous of Captain Marvel, that's all.
Yes, that's it.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
Last night, big things happened in the NBA when the Los Angeles Lakers played the Denver Nuggets, which, for some reason, I just don't like the word Nuggets as a sports team.
I know. Maybe if that was your team, it'd be different.
It would, and I get it. Gold Rush, Nuggets, I get it. I totally get it. I do. But I got to tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one nugget. It's a McNugget, and that's what it is.
Okay.
So I want to get that out up front.
Sure.
All right?
That's all that we're focusing on. But really, I mean, LeBron had something important from that.
Yeah. Last night, LeBron James passed Michael Jordan's all-time scoring record. So he has now scored 32,294 points.
When I heard it yesterday, I thought, I bet you Michael Jordan was like the top one, but he's not. So LeBron James now passed Michael Jordan. So he's fourth on NBA's all-time scoring list.
Right, which moves Michael Jordan down to number 5.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not the first one of Michael Jordan's all-time score, or excuse me, like records that he's broken. Michael Jordan was the all-time scoring postseason player. So he had scored more points in the NBA finals and playoffs and stuff than anybody else. And now LeBron James has taken that. Now your all-time scoring list, like the top 5 in the NBA, is now 5 Michael Jordan, 32,292 points. LeBron James at 4, 32,311. Kobe Bryant at 3, 33,000. Karl Malone at 2, 36,000. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 38,000.
38,387.
That's a lot of points.
Those
Nikki.
are that you got to be specific.
Mm-hmm. So I've got to say this for sure. I have not scored any points in an NBA game.
Well, we're not on the list. We're way down. Now, for LeBron to pass Kobe Bryant, they expect that would have to be until next season because he's 1,300 points behind. So it would have to be not this season.
I feel like at this point, for LeBron, what with him becoming the star of Space Jam and all...
Will there be a next season?
You have to start to wonder how much longer he's actually going to play in the NBA. So, I don't know. Like, probably a couple more years, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't follow him as much, but everything I see around him and the Lakers is not been the most positive recently. So, not sure. Not sure if it's going quite like he wanted it to.
Man. Like, while you were out doing whatever it is you do, this guy has scored 32,000 points. It's wild.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. Radio U.
Guys, I'm starting to get nervous, okay?
About what?
Well, I've been really sleepy this week. Yesterday, I went home, took a 2-hour nap.
Whoa!
And guess what?
And you
went to bed early last night.
Did you? Oh my gosh. I still think you're catching up from being so sick and just not sleeping well for quite a few weeks.
I hope that's it. I do. Tonight we've got the Riot Live event, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Facebook.
Help.
Well,
that'll add to being tired.
My plan is today I'm going to try to go home and get another nap, but I can't go to bed early.
Sure.
Because we got to do our show. So that's a thing.
But
right?
Do you think you're just low on a vitamin, or you're just getting back, or was it the antibiotics that did something to you, or what?
Well, I do feel like antibiotics, and they say it's not the antibiotic, it's the infection, but I'm telling you, it's not just the infection.
I think we've proven in the past you have a sensitivity to sometimes the antibiotics.
So for real, like now that I'm off the antibiotic, I do feel better. Than I did when I was on it. But yeah, I'm just really tired.
You can push him over and he'd fall down and fall asleep.
I fell asleep after the show yesterday. I told Nikki, I was like, I got to have a quick break. I laid on the floor here in the studio and fell asleep. Like, I fell asleep.
Normally, you just close your eyes and you just rest for a second, but you legitimately fell asleep.
I was asleep on the floor in the studio. And all of those naps and everything. And then... do you know what happens this weekend?
What?
We lose an hour.
We lose the hour. That's right. Don't think about it yet, but...
What?
We do.
What?
We do.
What am I going to do?
You're going to be even more tired. Yay! So we have tonight, and then we have the losing of the hour. You should adjust and be better in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, middle of April, you're going to be fine.
You'll be great.
You got nothing to worry about. Start thinking about 1st of May.
Now, I was going to say, I was going to look at maybe May as your projected date of feeling not so tired.
Man, why am I going to do this? I got to figure something out.
It's hard. Then everything everybody pushes at you is just a temporary jolt of energy.
Yeah.
But you're still tired.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tired now. Getting ready to start the coffee.
There's your temporary jolt of energy.
There's my temporary jolt. Like, whatever it takes, just something to get us going, right? Keep us on the air. Dance, monkey, dance. Come on.
Why don't you drink the one thing we got yesterday? The energy drink, the cotton candy one?
Well, that's for tonight, isn't it?
Oh, well, I mean, if you need it tonight, or you could maybe use it this morning if you want.
You know, maybe we should try it this morning. I don't know that we want it tonight because... well,
we have enough, we'll have cake and... other stuff and candy and other things to eat. So we have our own energy source coming later tonight.
That's
Might
true.
not want that so late.
That's true.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from McGee's. The worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So, you probably cut cable last year. What are we saying? Like your mom cut cable. Maybe. She's like, we got cable, we're getting satellite.
Maybe.
I've been told that before. Where I'm just like, that's still the same thing. It's the same. Like, the difference is it's coming through the air. It's the same.
If it makes people feel better, it's fine.
Yeah, well, it's just an angle. But 2018, 3 million people dropped cable. So that is twice as many people that cut cable in 2017. So you've got 1.5 million that were out in 2017, or out in 2.9 that were out in 2018.
They say most of those customers are going without pay TV, so like cable television, and then they're opting for lower cost options like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Which, if you have all three of those,
if you add them
it's
all
not
together,
a lower price.
Now, we don't say that because we're for cable. We're not. I'm just more for, I like to just cut back and not watch as much. So do you need all of those networks? You just pick.
I do think that if cable got smarter about the options they threw at you,
sure,
people wouldn't be so quick to jump ship.
I think they also need to change their tactics, because I hate the most with at least our internet provider is they always seem to want me to get their other stuff that they're having, and it's annoying. Like, I don't want any other services, or I don't want phone, I don't want this, I don't even want cable TV right now, but they're very aggressive at trying to always get you there, and it just turns me off from wanting to speak with them.
I will tell you, they got me a couple times to look at the little flyer, because our cable company, I just do internet, like not cable, and they had a thing where it was like $20 a month and you can choose 10 channels, and you got their on-demand service, like everything, and it was just 10 channels. And I thought, like at $2 a channel, if I really picked the channels that I wanted, that's actually that's a pretty good deal. It's not bad. So I started looking into it, and it was like, no, what am I doing?
Why am I doing this?
They knew the magic number. Research says they almost got me. They didn't get me, but they were close.
Sure.
They're very close.
They're always really trying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And can I just say, too, can we stop saying we're cutting the cord when we're just like going to YouTube TV or something?
Yeah, we're just going to something else.
It's still cable. Like, it's still the same structure. It's just that it's being delivered a different way. And arguably, it's not even being delivered a different way, because how are you watching it? Well, from the cable company through a line that they're running to your house.
But they wanted everything. They wanted it all. So even though pay TV companies have lost 2.9 million customers last year, they're saying that's been offset by internet delivered, what they call skinny TV packages, which has 7 to 8 million subscribers gained in 2018.
Which is what we're talking about.
Yeah, so that stuff has gone up, but traditional old school style pay TV stuff has gone down.
Oddly enough, like, it used to be a matter of people would brag, like, I got 300 channels. And now it's the other way. They're like, we only have 3 channels. That's all we have. We only watch those. So
DirecTV and Dish has also suffered their largest losses, $2.36 million in 2018.
I don't know why in this day and age you would want satellite TV unless you lived in an area where it was all you could get.
In my area, I see a lot of dishes. Yeah. And I think that was, though, back when those houses were built. Sure. That was all that was there. So they just never moved back, even though there's a better infrastructure already in.
One of my uncles, he lives out in the middle of Nowheresville, Tennessee, and they can't get high-speed internet, and they can only get DirecTV. So
why you living there then?
That or you know what? I'll be honest.
I mean, he doesn't know any other, options, so maybe it's okay.
The place is so nice.
Yeah.
I think I could almost do it.
Be a different world.
Oh, man. But he's retired, so, I mean, like, he doesn't have to go to work.
Hurry.
Man, think about that. Like, you live out in the middle of nowhere and you got nothing to do. Oh, hello, Division 2 all day, every day.
He does. Well, no, you can't play with that speed of internet.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, I've got bad news for Arrow fans.
Arrow is out.
Yeah, the CW show Arrow is getting a shortened season next year.
I said 10 episodes.
And then that's going to be the end of it. The show will wrap up.
So is this the 8th season that they're going to go into? Like the 8th is the final, or did they just finish the 8th season?
I think the 7th season is what they just finished.
So the 8th is the last one.
And then this next one will be the last one, which will be season 8.
It feels like a long time, so maybe everybody should just be okay with it.
You know what?
Or did people like Arrow?
Okay. It depends on who you talk to, of course.
Yeah.
The thing that I keep getting from people is that Arrow
No, that sounds like a candy bar. It's an Oreo Arrow.
Arrow has had varying levels of quality.
Sure.
That there have been seasons that have been very good and seasons that are not so good. And so you got to imagine on some level, it's good to wrap it up. Like if they know they're going to wrap it up, they can write a story that's going to truly end, some of the characters and stuff.
To end it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
With networks, with a show that will be on for so long, it's going to be a combination of things. The longer a show's on, the more you have to pay people. And it gets to a point where the production of the show is not worth the audience that it's bringing in.
And that
probably is the case.
Now, they say that, it was a decision they all reached together. So
no one says that. That's not really how that was.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Like, we just decided it was best if they were able to spend more time with their family.
So Carl texted in, finally, the Arrow has been repetitive and boring since season 2.
Oh.
Well, Carl, is it right to say you're in then to watch the final season? Or would you tune in at 10 episodes? Is that like too much to ask for fans?
You know what? I watched Smallville. And I watched it, which was a CW, WB kind of show. And I watched probably 5 seasons of it.
How long did that last?
10.
10?
Yeah. And then got to a point where it was like, man, I am so tired of this. But when they said they were doing the last season, I tuned in for the last season.
Is that one show still on with the 2 brother guys? The one that was on
Supernatural?
That was still on?
Oh yeah.
It feels like that one's like forever.
It's going on like its 20th season or something.
Still brings in people, I guess.
No, not just a little either.
It's got a fan base.
The people who like Supernatural, they don't like it a little.
They love it.
Way into it.
All right.
So let's see. Supernatural season. Are they about to do season 15? Yeah, looks like it's season 15.
It's a long time.
Yep.
Long time.
And they're still cranking them out, man.
At it.
I don't know. After what we saw that day at the wing buffet.
It was just very weird. It was a very weird part of the show to have during daytime at a lunch buffet.
Nikki and I were sitting there eating, and we looked up, and whatever was happening on that show, I was like, I never want to see this again.
Hey, it's our Riot show anniversary tonight, and if you think about it, we've been at this for a long time, longer than almost every other morning show.
Yeah.
We're like the Supernatural of morning shows.
We should probably spend some time with our families.
It's about time.
People are like, wrap this thing up, dude.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Now, Nikki, I don't want you to name any names, but I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about the workplace.
Yeah.
Okay, where you live.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, where you work. Though it feels like we live here.
I knew you were going to say that.
Okay, so is there anybody at work that just drives you crazy?
No.
That just really bothers you?
No, not really bothers me, no.
See, the answer is yes. And I'll tell you that I'm reading this article here from Maria Barada. She's a therapist in New York. And she says that the reason that the people we work with drive us so crazy, especially if there's that one person that drives you crazy, they say it's all about childhood trauma.
Really?
They say that it was what you've experienced as a child, and that person that you work with that drives you crazy, they remind you of that family member.
Because of what they're doing?
Mm-hmm. That's right. So I don't want to name any names, but...
There's only so many.
There's someone on staff that reminds me a lot of my mom.
That's not me.
I'm just saying that it drives me crazy.
Because I remind you to do things?
Did I...
I'm there to help out.
Did I say any names?
It's like a mom.
Nobody said any names. So this article is in Psychology Today if other people want to read about it. So,
what else is in there?
Perhaps a colleague who eats loudly reminds you of your dad.
It's not me.
I don't know.
I just don't like people that eat loudly. I have that one thing. It's a condition.
Or another one who constantly snaps at you reminds you of your bossy sister.
Could be.
Bossy sister.
I get more frustrated when I guess, you're watching them do things that maybe it reminds you of someone else who has done that to you in your life. Mm-hmm. But in the workplace, it's just harder.
Here is one piece of really good advice that I think you could apply all across your life, whether it's at work, in the classroom, in like whatever third place environment you find yourself. It says when you identify that you're being triggered by something far more complicated than the irritation you are experiencing, you might develop perspective and the ability to distance yourself from the situation. I totally get that. There are things in my life that someone will do or someone will say, and I'll get really angry. And if I take a moment and I think about it, like, why does this make me mad? It's like, oh, this is actually being mad from that one time 5 years ago that has nothing to do with them. It's a totally different circumstance, and it's just carryover.
Yeah.
Like, if you can own that a little bit, all of a sudden it's like, well, yes, it's driving me crazy, but it's not really this.
And they're still doing something potentially wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But it won't affect you as much.
Exactly.
On a personal level.
Like, it gives you, once you understand where some of the anger and frustration is coming from, it can make it a little easier to deal with the situation.
Because it makes you feel better. Because, again, it's personally. When it hits you on a different level than, like, the person you know from work, that's one level. There's a deeper level. And if it starts hitting that, then maybe this study is showing you why.
Yeah. And I like that because, I mean, again, something happens and all of a sudden you're like, man, I like to call it a disproportionate response.
I know. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
I have those where like something will happen or I'll get crazy mad and I'm just like, bro, like, it's not this. Let's talk about, step into our therapist's office. What are we really angry about?
The Riot's future, 2 words, Goat Farm. RadioU.
The PlayStation 4, it's everywhere, right? I mean, it's not everywhere, but like,
it's been out enough. It's made its impact.
What does a PlayStation 4 cost these days? Let's take a look. Let's see.
Depends, are you bundling?
A PlayStation Pro is $350. Mm-hmm. A regular PlayStation, quote unquote, is $299. That's kind of, I mean, at that, like, might as well just get the...
That's what they're hoping you'd say.
Might as well get the Pro, right?
I'm sorry, what PlayStation? Yes, that is exactly what he just said.
You know what? All right. You're right. I'm getting suckered in. That's what's happening.
Like, it's only $50 more.
Just go ahead. What's money? Just spend the money.
You already spent so much, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So something that they announced for the PlayStation 4, I think yesterday, is if you got a PlayStation 4, and many of you do, and you've got an iOS device, so an iPad or an iPhone.
This is us.
All right.
I've got both.
You've got both, Nikki.
What do I get?
You get remote play.
Oh, so you can play now on your phone?
Yes, you can.
Well,
you can
fun.
stream your PlayStation 4 to your phone, and you can play through a remote play app. So there will basically be touch controls on the screen, and you can play using those touch controls.
So you still have to have probably your PlayStation on and going, right?
Yes, you do.
And so if you leave it on for the day, I'm sure your house will still be there when you get back. It gets still a little bit much.
Let's see. Ooh, wow, really? Okay. I was like, why does it cost? No, it's free. There were third-party apps that would let you do this.
But now it's officially theirs and it's free.
And you were talking about like, hey, you've got to leave it on. You actually don't. As long as you put your PlayStation to sleep.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah, because there's like sleep and power off. You can put it to sleep. It can receive a remote command that says to turn it on, and then it will start streaming that way. So I didn't know, but like, this is one of those weird cases where this has been out for Android for 4 years.
Right. I remember someone saying about it, but not iOS.
Yeah. So it's now available on iOS. And it makes sense because Sony has their own line of phones, which are Android phones.
Mm-hmm. That's why they wanted to go with them first.
Yeah. So that's something I need to remember is I've never tried it, but I should, is streaming to my tablet. I set that up at home. I know it seemed like might sound dumb. I don't know what you're into, but like for me, on my Android tablet, I can stream games from my PC to my Android tablet, which has been fun because like if I'm laying in bed or something and, you know, instead of sleeping like I should be, I want to play games.
We're tired.
Yeah. I'm able to play games from my PC on my Android tablet that way. And so this would also enable me. Here's what it comes down to, guys. I could play Hot Shots golf in bed.
Okay. Not have to get up and go to where the computer is.
And I don't know if you know this, but I love that.
Maybe that just helps calm you down, you know?
Yeah.
It just helps you calm down at night.
Taking a quick round of golf and then go out. I guess, I'm sorry, it's everybody's golf for the PlayStation 4. But yeah, that's out there now and it's free if you've paid for all that hardware already.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki and I have often talked about the fact that doing the Riot doesn't pay like super well, which is, and by super well, I mean, Nikki and I both feel like we deserve to be independently wealthy.
But we realize that that's not where we're at the moment.
Right. Which is why I continue to look into various side hustles that Nikki and I could participate in. And I've looked into a lot of different things. This one seems like one we might be able to do, Nikki. Have you ever thought about us running a dentist office?
A dentist office?
Yeah. Now, we're not licensed, but they don't have to know.
We could be at the front desk. You don't have to be licensed to be there.
No, you're not getting it.
You want us to be the unlicensed dentist?
Yeah.
So I don't want to do anything illegal.
You could be the dentist and I could be the chatty dental tech that does
hygienist?
I'll scrub your teeth for you.
No, I don't want to be the dentist.
Why not?
That seems like a lot of pressure.
So you're going to be the hygienist and then I'll come in and
I want to be
like
the front desk person, the nice person who sends out the text program to remind people that, you know, they have an appointment in 6 months that they forgot about, so they have to reschedule. Like, I want to be that person. And that way, when the cops come in, I'm not in the same trouble as the fake dentist.
No, like we're both going to be in trouble. So no big deal there. And I think that now all of a sudden you're talking about a 3-person operation, which means we're going to have to split the proceeds.
Well, you need someone to run the front.
No, not necessarily.
And I'm really good at organizational stuff.
The hygienist always comes out and gets me in the waiting room. She's like, oh, is it Obadiah?
Is that you?
Obadiah, is that you? Okay,
oh, come on back.
Come on back and let's clean your teeth.
Is there a lot of money in being a non-licensed dentist?
I think so, because I'm reading about this couple. They're in Buckeye, Arizona. Sounds like a nice place, right? So the police there got a report, and they're like, so they sent, this is amazing, they sent somebody in undercover wearing a wire to this house. They go in.
They're doing it out of their house?
They're doing it out of their house. And here's what they said. They could do an extraction for $200. That means pulling a tooth.
Yeah.
Right? But they're like, yeah, we can get you anesthesia and I can get you pain medicine for after, so no big deal. Or they could do crowns, $2,000, full set of crowns.
I wonder
that's a steal.
So this is probably for people who don't have insurance, who can't go to a dentist and pay.
Right.
Like, what would that actually cost?
A lot. Crowns are like crazy expensive, right?
Well, it's a reason. I mean, if someone's wearing a crown, they're like royalty or really rich. So it's the same thing for your teeth. Your teeth, it costs so much money to wear that jewelry.
You want that tooth to be king? He's going to have to pay.
He's got to wear a crown.
He's going to have to pay. So they mostly did cleanings, but they could also do all sorts of like dental surgery. Now, people in the area thought it was a drug dealer's house.
Yeah, because everybody's going in and out. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not a blanket statement, but I'm going to say this because I know in some places it's perfectly acceptable, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to any business that's based out of a house. Okay? I know some areas it is fine for the business. It's not actually a house, but it looks like one.
Yeah.
But it's an office. I'm only going to one that's zoned as an office, not as residential.
The dentist's office I currently go to is like a renovated house.
Yeah, but it's not residential anymore.
It's not.
So that's fine.
Okay.
But if it's like, hey, I was just watching TV in the back in my living room, let me come on up and get ya, that I don't want to do.
All right. But I mean, two things happen. The people that come to us are saving money, and you and I are making money. And we do it part-time.
You know what we're also doing? We're making memories.
That's right.
Because we're going to remember all that when we're in jail.
And you know what? That's going to be really exciting. And it kind of gets us to that independently wealthy thing I was talking about, because we no longer have to worry about material goods.
True.
Someone else is providing all of them.
Not going to do this.
The Riot is the radio equivalent of Taco Bell meat. Radio U.
So let's pretend for a minute that you're a parent. You're not, but let's pretend you are. And you got a 4-year-old little boy named Everett. Mm-hmm. And Everett, he's got a pet that he's very excited about.
Yeah, okay.
Very excited about. and that pet is his goldfish.
Aww.
And I'm looking here at pictures of Everett with his goldfish, and he is very proud of it. Here's him holding the goldfish in the bag when it came home from the store. Here's him standing next to the tank, smiling big, with his chest all puffed out, proud of his goldfish. Now, he loved that goldfish.
I bet he did.
He talked to his goldfish every night. He fed him every night. He loved his goldfish. So,
here
Nikki,
comes a butt.
When you have a pet,
Yeah.
what do you like to do with your pet?
Well, I've only had dogs and cats, and you like to play with them, snuggle with them, take them on a walk, that sort of stuff.
I believe you've told me that you even share a bed with your dog.
Yeah, my dog sleeps in bed.
Of course he does.
Yes, Rolo
Absolutely.
does.
Well, you know what?
He's a snuggler.
These are the exact same things that Everett wanted to do.
Oh, did he not realize it needs to be in water?
He loves his fish so much that he brought his fish to bed with him.
Oh, and did he kill the fish?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a lot to handle for a 4-year-old.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait until you see the
pictures?
photo of him. His parents took a picture of him snuggled in bed with the fish.
Oh, that's so sad looking. It's so cute, but it's so sad looking because he killed the fish.
He loves his little fish.
Oh, don't tell him. Just get a new one.
No, they told him.
Why?
Because they took the dead fish out of his hands in the middle of the night.
He's 4 years old. He wouldn't even know. You would just go out and get another fish.
If you saw a child clutching a dead animal, would you help him?
I would take the fish out of his hand.
Where the heck are you going to get?
Grocery store. They have fish. The
Do
one
they?
there has a fish. That's open 24 hours. They have fishies there.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
They have a
But
pet section.
You know what? Maybe they don't live in a place where that's possible.
Well, you do what you do.
know, and the other thing, too, is at some point, you've got to teach him, like, hey,
Don't do that again.
Hey, buddy. Listen, here's the thing. Fish have to have water to survive, and you killed it.
And also, don't post this online because now, as he grows up, this is all he's going to be known for.
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, it's not like
in our day and age.
Okay,
this is all he's
probably.
going to be known for.
I'm like, hey, there's that stupid kid that killed his fish.
He's applying for a job. They're going to do one simple search. There you go. He's the kid that killed the fish.
Oh, he's the kid that killed the fish. But you know what? That might reflect well on him because they'll just be like, you know what? This guy's loyal and he's loving. His loyalty moves past his good sense, but he's loyal.
They say that sometimes the fish will be on the top of the lid in the water area. They couldn't find it. So the wife called the husband like, hey, I don't see the fish. Where is he? And then they looked in the bed and they said, oh, no, he's holding the fish. Woke him up, asked the little boy why he was holding. He said he just wanted to pet it. And they said then that you killed your fish. Fish can't live out of water. That's a lot. And he's sleepy, too. He can't process this.
They said he was upset, but then the next morning he was fine and wanted another fish.
He said, I didn't want to kill my fish. Oh, it's so sad. It's cute, but sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you get him another one, maybe don't keep it in the bedroom. Just do something.
Isn't that the point? Like, hey, you've got a fish.
No, you can put it in the living room. The safe zone. Safe place.
A place where you'd at least see him trying. I think it's amazing that he got it out. He must have a little net because he couldn't just reach in there and grab it, did he?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a very fast fish. I'm judging based off of its looks. I don't know. I'm just looking at it dead.
You don't look like a fast fish.
He
I mean,
doesn't.
if you were a fast fish, you wouldn't be dead.
No, you know how there's certain types, like there's the beta fishes and the other ones, and they all have their own special skills. Doesn't seem like too much for this one.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
Nikki, how about a bunded...
A what?
Bunded cake.
A bundt cake?
Bunded.
A bundt cake.
Bunded.
The round one with the middle?
What makes it bunded?
It's a bundt cake.
Bunded.
That's not it.
What, the D is silent?
Yeah.
Who's ever even heard of that?
Bundt cake.
Bunded.
You're just making it harder.
Yeah.
Making it hard to understand.
Well, what is it?
It's a bundt cake. That's what it is.
That's not helping.
It's a particular size, style of it. It looks,
Like, is it thicker? Is
yes.
it juicier?
No, it's...
It comes from a different part of the cake animal?
It's kind of. I don't know how how to describe it, but I mean, it's round and then it's deep and then it's got a middle that you don't put the cake thing in and you fill it up and that's the bundt cake size and you put it in and that's what you do.
A bundt cake is a cake that's baked in a bundt pan, shaping it with a distinctive ring shape.
Yes.
The shape is inspired by a traditional European cake known as a Kugelhupf, but bundt cakes are generally not associated with any single recipe. So it's not the cake. You can put
anything in it.
It's just the shape.
Correct.
Oh, give me a break.
It's like the mold for it.
Yeah. Oh, I want mold on my cake.
No, it's fine. Why? Why do you ask about bundt cakes? Are you did you see something?
Well, I was just looking at this thing about bundt cake.
Bundt
and I
cakes.
was like, I'll take a bundt cake.
Looks good. You can, again, put anything you want in it. That's just the size and style that it'll come out with.
Okay. All right.
You want one for our anniversary show?
I don't.
You want the good old chocolate cake with vanilla buttercream icing.
That's exactly right, Nikki. That's the cake we're looking for.
But we could still have that, but in bundt cake form.
Nope. Don't want that. Okay. I don't want anybody to mess with perfection.
We'll just get the normal cake that we get.
That's right. I want it the way it is, the way God intended that cake to be. Buttercream icing, chocolate.
Many layers.
How many layers can you get in there?
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. RadioU.
Now, the world's full of good people, Nikki.
It is.
People like you.
Aw, and you.
The world's full of bad people.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not bad people, but just like...
Bad intentions? Or
What are you doing kind of people? What are you doing? And so we've got some people in California. Alfonso. He's got a dog that is a rescue pet.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
Congratulations. Good job.
Yay.
All right? He's a rescue pet. And he noticed there was like this thing on the ground around the gate, and he couldn't figure out what was going on. And so he's like, why is there this... He said a spray pattern.
Yeah, there was a lot of times the residue of something near his, because he had like a courtyard and then a small fence door, which would then lead into the courtyard for the actual door of the house.
So he's like, what the heck is this? So he went back. He had a security camera out there. He went back and checked the footage. And lo and behold, the mailman was going by, allegedly, every day.
No, he's on there.
But, Nikki, it's allegedly.
Okay, but he's on there.
It's allegedly. And allegedly, basically pepper spraying the dog almost every day.
It's a little dog. And because of the gate, it's nowhere near this postman. Nowhere near him. Like it's not like the guy would be threatened at all. This dog can't get you. And it's not a scary dog.
I was going to say, and it's not a threatening dog.
It's a little fluffy little family dog.
It's one of those things where like it annoys you. I get that. Man, I got these people down the street from me that every time I go running, their stupid dog drives me crazy. But I'm not pepper spraying it, okay? I'm just calling it names in my head and then forgetting about it.
It's horrible to watch the video because then the dog just starts like rubbing its eyes on the ground and just its head. But then the other side of this is a family dog. So when they're home, he goes inside and it's kind of like a little poodle sort of looking dog. He's got like little fluffy fur. And there's a baby and a little toddler in the house. And they hug him and hold him. They've been having upper respiratory problems that they haven't been able. Yeah, the residue from the pepper spray has been on the dog and then gets in contact with the little kids. So this is this whole other layer that what is this guy doing?
What?
How could you be so mean?
So you have to ask yourself, is it that thing where the postal guy's just like, you know what? One of the things I love to do while I'm out delivering
is that
the
how
mail.
He gets his little kicks with it? I don't know.
It's a little power trip. He's
Pretty
like,
much.
You're going to bark at me? I'm going to bark at you.
So little dog, he's been doing it. They're asking in the neighborhood, has anybody else had something similar? Because this guy, they have him on camera. He always has his pepper spray out with the letters that he's delivering. So they want to make sure no one else has been having this done to them. And the post office apologized to the family and to the dog and said they're dealing with it.
Do you think he's fired?
I hope so.
Can you fire postal workers? Are you allowed?
I don't know, but I hope so.
Dude, busted. So listen, I just want to say, if you get mad at neighborhood dogs, I'm with you.
But if you're doing this,
I'm with you. I know what that's like. But come on. Like pepper spraying the dog's barking at you. It's just being a dog.
It's a little
That's
dog.
what they do.
It's saying hi. He didn't have to do that all the time.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
So lately, Nikki, I've had an affinity for old movies.
Yeah.
And I've been doing two different kinds of movies. I've been watching old classics, like 30s, 40s, black and white, whatever. And I've also been watching really bad 90s action movies.
What's with it?
They're all, and I'm noticing the trend here. Like they all have different directors, but they all have like the same. They're all from Warner Brothers, and they're all like scored by the same people, and all the trailers look exactly the same.
So you started with, for the old black and white movies, was it Casablanca?
Yes.
And then did you watch Gone with the Wind? Was that the other one?
No. But this weekend I'm doing Maltese Falcon.
That one?
I'm excited about that. I was supposed to watch it last weekend, and you know what? I ended up getting invited to a party, and it didn't work out.
Okay, so you couldn't get to your old movie.
I wasn't able to sit at home alone watching a 70-year-old film.
So now, what has been in the mix with the 90s bad action movies?
Out for Justice.
Out for Justice?
Yeah. Steven
and
Seagal.
who? Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
So you're really looking at him, his catalog?
Well, him, and then I want you to know that something just entered the hopper.
What is it?
The Passenger 57.
Which one's that
Wesley
one?
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes?
It has, I'm not saying you should watch the movie, but you should absolutely watch the trailer. You should watch the trailer.
Trailer even seems bad.
Oh, no, but that's what's so good about it.
And
that's
that was
what's
the best
so
moments
good.
it had.
There's like a guy like falling off of something, and you get the slow motion like, all these little like cliched action lines, and then the trailer ends with, you ever play roulette? Always bet on black.
That's where that comes from?
Yes.
Because I've heard the line.
Well, it was in Batman, the Lego Batman movie.
No, okay.
I mean, maybe somebody used it before that, but I always think of Passenger 57.
So are you going to watch that and the Maltese Falcon?
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a back-to-back?
Oh, back-to-back movies that if you took their combined age, it's over 100 years.
Good. You're just picking some great stuff, aren't you?
I don't know how long the Maltese Falcon is, but Passenger 57 is an hour and 23 minutes.
Anybody have any...
That's like a TV show.
Does anybody have any suggestions for the 90s movies?
Dude, tell me your bad, just bad action movies in general. Like,
well, wouldn't it be, so you Steven Seagal, anything with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah.
No, I
Yes.
would think.
Okay, yes.
I think he fits in that cat.
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And then the one guy that people always say, Chuck Norris, the one that they always say is like Chuck Norris does everything right or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So Chuck Norris. Anybody else?
I don't know. Like, and because here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed as I've been going back watching these old movies is that it seems like there's a point, and I don't know if it's in like the mid 90s or the early 2000s or whatever, that they just, when you start watching really crappy old movies, there's a certain look that they have, and then they start having a different look. And as dumb as it sounds, and I could be wrong, but this is what I was thinking. I think it's that these old ones are shot on film, and so like they still seem like they're really trying. And then
Compared to when they stopped shooting them on film?
And then you hit a point where I swear they're just shot on digital because it's almost like they look too clean or something, and they're bad, but like they're bad.
Gotcha.
Like these are so bad that you can have a good laugh, but it's like there's something there. But these other movies, like you hit a certain point where it's like, this is just a bad movie. It's not a funny bad movie. It's just a bad movie.
Bad movie.
So.
You also have Bruce Willis. Doesn't he count like during that era?
Well, if it's the original Die Hard, no. Everything after that,
else
absolutely.
does work? Okay.
I think so. Jerome says Time Cop. That's actually a great choice.
Who's in
That's
that
Jean-Claude Van Damme. And Nikki, he's protecting the future.
Is he? Well, you have to watch that then, don't you?
He's
to
a cop.
learn about the future.
Oh, hey, here's one. I've never seen this. Julia says Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, John Wick guy?
Yeah.
Aww.
John Wick is Johnny Mnemonic.
You forget the John Wick Keanu Reeves guy is older.
Okay, Jerome says Lethal Weapon as well.
Not the TV show,
maybe
but the old movies.
The movie, yeah, okay. And then Jared says you have to watch Lionheart, Jean-Claude Van Damme, an ex-soldier becomes a street fighter. That sounds perfect.
And what's great, it's on Prime, so you ain't paying for that.
An ex-soldier becomes a street fighter.
All you have to say is ex-soldier. It seems like that's the starting point for a lot of those movies.
Billy says stuff with Jet Li in it. Yeah, okay. I've definitely seen some Jet Li stuff. His when he crossed over and started doing American films, some of those are They're a little rough.
Nate says Demolition Man.
That's a great choice because it's got Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone in it.
Oh.
See? So I don't understand why I am so... Philip says Logan's Run. It's a little older, but that's on Netflix right now.
Why are you happy with the current movie climate? You want to go back?
But I watch new
you
movies.
You watch current ones?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Okay, look, Nikki, if you're watching a lot of movies, which I do, you got to go around, and you'll hit a point where you're like, okay, actually, it's really fun to start with genres. For me, like bad 90s action, that's a genre. Or like classic films starring Humphrey Bogart, that's a genre. 70s science fiction films. But you go through kind of like runs of different movies. And I think I've gotten a little more open to watching old bad movies because I've been watching Mystery Science Theater a lot.
Yeah, which are about old bad movies. So, Mark, thanks from Midland, Judge Dredd, Sylvester Stallone.
I have that one, even though I've never watched it.
I like Billy's. Any Jason Statham stuff. He does go back.
He does. And, I mean, there's some bad stuff there. But Jason Statham falls in the so bad it's good category.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
If you were a fast fish, you wouldn't be dead.